You've survived another week. Thank you for listening, downloading, and supporting the Black Man with a Gun Show. This week, I'm talking to a couple of YouTubers, Hank Strange and Jeff Quinn, two unique guys that have successfully used YouTube to share information, cool products, and themselves for more than a few years. My protege and friend, U.S. Army vet and trainer, Michael J. Woodland, is with us with our tips and tricks. And you might notice a different feel to the show this week. Let me know what you think about it. This is what cool sounds like. Since 2007, I have tried every week to drop something into your consciousness that you don't hear anywhere else about the gun community. What is affecting us, where we've been, and where we might be headed. I'm doing this based on my past experiences as a gun rights activist, a firearms trainer, a Christian pastor, a law enforcement officer, a former U.S. Marine, a father, and a friend. It can be sometimes tough for people like us, but I'm here for you. I get you, and welcome to the Black Man with a Gun Show. I want to thank Brother Tommy Bland for helping me with the backing track to that. I actually got a chance to use GarageBand on my computer and actually input my bass, and that's me playing, actually, an old Donny Hathaway song. Change it up just a tad. But that's the way I'm working right now. Changing it up just a tad, keeping it interesting, keeping it fresh for you. I've been podcasting since 2007 and have an awesome community here. The gun community in general is growing and more diverse than many people realize. America still is a great nation. And it's this community that changed my outlook on it and my life. For those who are new, I've been involved in the gun community since 1991 when I was a firearms instructor for the Central Intelligence Agency and I was trying to start my own thing. I offered my insight as a law enforcement officer, as a trainer, to help the whole concealed carry movement reform in Virginia, Texas, South Carolina, Michigan, Wisconsin, even in my state of Maryland, which we didn't win that one. But I've worked with all the pro-gun groups and became known as this black man with a gun. My first website came out in 2000. When everybody was talking about Y2K, there was a website called Black Man with a Gun. I used it to push my book, which was used to educate and to inspire and to tell the racist roots of gun control. This show gives me the opportunity to educate, to inspire, and to entertain in the African tradition of the griot, which is a West African word for storyteller, musician, a religious leader, and all that. I'm really glad that you're here. While all my friends, or not all of them, but a lot of them, were attending the National Rifle Association's annual meeting, I was here reconfiguring, plotting and planning, organizing my life and all the stuff that I have. Being around for 20-some years, having access to technology and having the studio that you have helped me put together, I just realized that I have to do better. I can do better. And you know, I've tried some stuff, blogs and podcasts, sold things. I've stretched it as far as I could on my own. So I hired some help to help me over some rough spots, to even me out, to give me some stuff to think about, to challenge me. And even though a lot of the stuff that you're hearing, he hasn't told me to do, but it's kind of like once you get one thing cleaned in your house or in your head, you find more room for stuff, or you see where you could fix something better. And that's where I am right now. Behind the scenes, I've been learning new programs that do editing for audio. You know, and everything I'm doing, I'm trying to do a little better. You know what's cool? Freedom. Diversity is cool. Being able to exchange ideas is cool. Laughing with friends is cool. Family is cool. Community like you is cool. Being with friends, learning something new, discovering something, accomplishing something together is cool. And so is this podcast. Again, I had time to reflect, and I was kind of upset with some of the stuff that I read about and see on news and on the internet. Facebook has become troll paradise. But the problem with complaining about the system is that the system can't hear you. Only people can. And the problem is that the people in the system are too often swayed to believe that they have no power over the system, that they are merely victims of it, pawns, cogs in a machine that's bigger than them. I realize that systems don't mistreat us. They don't misrepresent us, waste our resources. They don't govern poorly. They don't support an unfair status quo or generally screw things up. It's the people that do that. But if we care enough, we can make it change.
This portion of the show is sponsored by CrossbreedHolsters.com. Crossbreed Holsters has gained national recognition as a maker of the best and most functional concealment holsters available on the market today. Each holster is handcrafted to ensure your firearm is safe and secure while carrying, combined with the best customer service in the industry. Visit CrossbreedHolsters.com.
I dropped that in there because this show was first sponsored by Crossbreed Holsters. Back when Facebook first started, I had my first two people were the musician and artist known as Chuck Brown, king of go-go here in the District of Columbia, and a guy by the name of Mark Craighead. And Mark and I had the best conversations on Facebook. He was getting started and I was getting started, and he said, "Hey man, I'm going to support you in your ministry." And it's been that way ever since. Mark went home to be with the Lord, ahead of most of us, but our relationship as a family hasn't stopped. I don't know about other podcasts, but this one is about relationships. Proverbs 17:17 says that a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. I've been helping people, and they've helped me because of this podcast. Even the guy that you hear in the ad that does the voice takes me back. He's family. A guy from Texas named Jeff. Takes me back to a time of old time radio. And I love that stuff. Live your life on purpose and with a purpose. That is what's cool. Before our interviews with the YouTube superstars, Michael J. Woodland is going to talk about a drill for accuracy. Take it away, big guy.
Thank you, Ken, and welcome to another Tips and Review segment. I am Michael Woodland of m-wtactical.com, and today we're going to discuss a drill that can help you become more accurate and fast. There's always going to be a steady stream of competition for those who normally go shoot together. It can be a competition on accuracy or that of the combination of the skill with speed and accuracy. Either way you look at it, this skill will not come to you overnight. Like anything else, you have to work at it. So you guessed it. That means drills on top of drills with more drills to do. Let's make the challenge even more fun and interesting. A while ago, an instructor was telling me about this drill by the numbers. For the military-minded, it's not what you think. So this drill is the number of rounds times 3 with that many seconds on the clock. If I lost you, let's break it down. The number 5 is in my head right now. So I will load 3 magazines with 5 rounds each. For the new shooter, I would recommend starting at the low ready. For the advanced shooter, let's go ahead and just pull it out the holster. Now, you have 3 targets, and let's place them about 2 feet apart from each other, going from shoulder to shoulder. Now, you will stand about 15 feet from the target to start this drill. On the timer, you will fire 5 rounds at the first target, reload, fire 5 rounds at the second target, reload, and finish off the final magazine at the third target. If you are able to complete that, great. If you were not, then keep practicing until you can get effective hits in that time span. For those who found that to be too easy, if you started from the low ready, then advance to doing the same drill but pulling your firearm out the holster. If you found coming out the holster to be too easy or not challenging, do the same drill but go up in rounds and seconds. Again, if you have 7 rounds in the magazine, that is the time on the clock. Send me some video footage of you doing this drill, and I will post it on the M-W Tactical Facebook page for all to see. Tune in next week as we tackle another area of marksmanship for another tips and review segment. Thank you for all those who follow and support the M-W Tactical Facebook page. If you haven't done so, look us up on Facebook and hit the like button and join in on the many discussions that are taking place. We are trying to reach our goal of 2,000 likes before the end of the year. Tell your buddies to get on Facebook and hit the like button on the M-W Tactical Facebook page. If you are more into photos, follow me on Instagram at MJ Woodland, where you get an up-close and personal involvement of my daily life and involvement at a shooting range. If you would like to read more about us, do so by going to www.m-wtactical.com, where you can easily connect with us on any of the previously mentioned social platforms while looking at pictures, viewing future classes, emailing us, or even listening to the current week of the Black Man with the Gun podcast. For those who want a more direct approach, just call us at 803-250-1256. Leave a message and we will get back to you so we can discuss whatever is on your mind, from shooting classes or just inviting us out to your upcoming event. Until next week, keep shooting, keep practicing, and have fun. Back to you, Ken.
Thanks, Michael. This portion of the show has been brought to you by the United States Concealed Carry Association. The USCCA has been providing education, training, and self-defense insurance to responsibly armed Americans since 2003. Join Tim Schmidt and myself here at usconcealedcarry.com. All right, let's go to YouTube. If you're a fan of YouTube, you know there's a lot of gun bloggers out there who do some great stuff. They show you the newest, the latest, the greatest, and they have their own spin on it. A couple of the characters I have on this week's show are unique. They're special. They're actually beautiful people. One of the guys looks like a biker, and some people might actually be afraid of the way he looks. But I can say the same thing about myself. Jeff Quinn, gray-haired guy with a beard with two long plaits coming off of it, could even be on a pirate movie. He's up next on the Black Man with a Gun show. All right, this week I got a special guest. I got a guy, you probably watched him on YouTube. You've probably read his stuff. It's the mighty Jeff Quinn. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Since 2000, you've been doing gun writing and all that stuff, huh?
I have. I've always been into guns, but in 2000, I didn't even have a computer. But my brother's always been a computer, so I asked him. I said, Boj, if I can write about some guns, can you put them on the internet thing? He said, yeah, I can do that. So that's what got us started. It seemed like we got into it about the right time. It's worked out really well for us.
That's good. This is your full-time job?
That's all I do now. Well, I fool with raising a few cattle and grandkids, but this is the only thing I do to make money.
You a granddad? That's cool, man.
Oh, yeah. That's the best job I've ever had.
How many you got?
Just two, but they live about a quarter mile from us, so I get to see them every day. I get them off the school bus, and they play in the creek and ride four-wheelers, and we just have a good time.
That's good, man. Anybody ever approach you about getting your own television show?
I have. I get those things all the time. You know, the last one I got was just, pretty recently. Maybe a couple months ago, this lady called me from L.A., and she said, I got a great idea for a TV show for you. She said, we want you to go to Alaska and live off the grid for a year. And I told her, I said, lady, I love the grid, and everything it has to offer. So I said, thank you, but no thank you.
That's funny.
But you hail out of Tennessee, right?
Yes, sir. We're in Tennessee. I live about 300 yards from where I was born, so I haven't got very far yet.
Wow. That's some beautiful place in Tennessee I've seen.
Yeah, I like it over here. I've been a lot of places and love going a lot of places, especially riding out west on a motorcycle and all, but I'm always glad to come home.
Oh, what do you ride? What do you got?
Oh, I ride a Harley Road Glide. I got a 2010 Road Glide Custom, and I've had, I think, 14 different Harleys over the years, and and I really enjoy them. They're fun to ride, easy to ride, and a great American company. And I enjoy getting out there and getting away from everything.
Were you prior military or law enforcement?
I never was. I went as high as second class in the Boy Scouts as far as I ever got. As far as law enforcement, I did some, kind of on the dirty side of law enforcement years ago, some undercover stuff, but that's been a long time ago, and hadn't done any formal law enforcement work at all.
Oh, okay. I got to tell you, though,
yeah.
You look like an outlaw sometimes, though.
I know, yeah. I get some people say I just, kind of look like hell, but everywhere, people don't believe that I don't drink and all that stuff, so. But I never drank, never smoked. Used to grow tobacco when I was young, and I never did want to put none of it in my mouth. So,
That's too cool. What's your latest project? What you doing now?
Well, I've got another short shotgun supposed to be here tomorrow. Those little 14-inch shotguns now have been declared legal to buy just on the 4473 but ATF. So we reviewed the Mossberg Shockwave about 3 weeks ago, and now Remington's come out with their version of it. It's going to be working on it tomorrow. And there's always stuff here. I got 15 or 20 guns down there waiting on me right now to review, but I get to them as I can.
Oh, wow. You have your own range?
I do. Yeah, just 100 yards here by the house. There's a spot back on the farm I can go and get out to 425, but just 100 yards right here at the house.
Oh, man, there's people envious of that stuff right there.
Yeah, I like it. It makes it handy instead of having to pack up everything, drive to the range. Especially if I'm doing some load development, I can go shoot a few rounds and collect my data, then go back in the loading room and load up some more different and go back out and shoot. It makes it real handy for me.
You just came back from the NRA annual meeting for 2017. What you think this year? Different than any other?
There's a lot of good stuff there. I love going to the NRA show. We're not as wide open there as we are at SHOT. It's a little more laid back. Now, the city itself, Atlanta's just a mess, traffic and all that kind of stuff. But I guess, it's a problem when you get that many people in one spot. You're going to have a lot of traffic and things like that. But sirens going all night, and it's just city life just ain't what it is for me. I like living out in the woods. But as far as the show itself, nothing really new there. We didn't see it SHOT Show, but a lot of good stuff there, a lot of good people. We mainly go to the NRA show just to meet people and take pictures with fans and that kind of thing. Speaking
of fans, how many you got now, do you know?
I don't know. We get emails from all over the world. My brother keeps up with that stuff. He's our webmaster, and he said we'll get emails from something like 190 different countries, but I didn't know there was that many. I probably couldn't name me 30. But, it seems like people, he may be sitting in Cambodia in a hut with nothing to eat, but he got internet service. So people all over the world enjoy reading about guns. A lot of places they can't own guns, but we get lots of email from there. And I think on our, I don't know how many hits and all we get a day anymore. I remember years ago when we got to 5,000 hits, I thought it can't get no bigger than this. But, now we're up in the millions per day, and I've got a lot of YouTube followers and that kind of thing. So it's really worked out well for us.
What's your channel's name?
It's gunblast.com is our website, and it's Gunblast, DOTCOM, spelled out like that on the YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure I write that down and share it with everybody. I know I'm probably one of the few people that don't have all your stuff, but that'll be fixed after the day.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I just like you. I see you in passing at SHOT Show, and it's like 1 million people, so I never get a chance to say anything, but I always appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate that, sir. Yeah, it is a lot of people down there. It's hard. You just can't see everybody you want to see.
Yeah. But like me, you're distinct. You're unique.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. I'm hard to miss.
I got to ask you, this is really stupid. What's the meaning of the braided beard?
Well, just, I've always just never wanted to shave. Well, I take that back. I used to shave when I was in high school, but I was dating this girl, and her dad had just retired out of the Army as a drill sergeant, and he didn't say nothing to me, but I went down there one day, had a little peach fuzz on my face. I was just 17, and he didn't say nothing to me. He told her, he said, you tell that boy don't come back till he shaves. So I ain't shaved since. I was just hard-headed, and so when I started riding motorcycles, my beard would either get all tangled up or I'd have to braid it. So I started braiding it back in the early 90s, and as they kept getting longer, so I had to braid it up to keep from getting caught and everything and tangled up. So just been braiding it ever since.
I'm hoping I'm the only one that ever asked that, but man, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
What's been your favorite gun to shoot this year so far?
It's hard to say. My favorite changes from day to day, but I love 22s. And, a good 22 rifle is just hard to beat. If I had to pare down to one gun, it would be a Marlin Model 39 lever action 22. They're out of production now, but they've made millions of them, I guess, over the years, and it's a gun that'll do just 99% of what I need to do with a gun I can do with a good lever action 22.
Interesting. How about the little strange calibers like 17 versus the 22? What's your thoughts on those?
Well, I like it. When they first come out years ago, I got one of the first ones that Savage produced and started shooting it. And, ballistically, it's superior to the 22 and the 22 Magnum. The 17 HMR is, and I've also got the 17 Hornet and a couple of others. It's just a good flying little bullet, and they do a lot of damage when they get there. They're not for big stuff, but on small predators and varmints and things, they work really well. I wouldn't want to use them on a squirrel or rabbit, anything I want to eat, because they don't leave much meat there for you. But it's an efficient little cartridge.
All right, cool. Little tip. What for new shooters or people listening for the first time, you got any tips for them that you want to pass on from the only Jeff Quinn could give you?
Get some good instruction. A lot of times you'll get good advice at a gun store, and sometimes you won't. Particularly women, they run into this. They walk into a gun store and they need a gun for protection or whatever, and some guy talking down to them, say, "Here's what you need, little lady. This is all you can handle." And that's not true. A girl with a proper training can handle any gun that a man can handle. And they need the same gun. Chances are a lady will need a gun for self-protection more than a man would. But they need to get good training. Places like gun sight and schools like that, they seem expensive on the surface, but it's not. The training you get is a lot more valuable. It's like the software is more important than the hardware. If you got the right training, you can take most any gun and do what you need to with it. But people, a lot of times they'll go to a gun store and they'll buy a gun, whatever they got, they're pushing that week, and they'll push it off on them and send them on their way with no instruction at all. And the little manual that come with it pretty much tells you how to operate the thing, but it don't tell you when and how to use it. So good training is more important than the weapon itself.
That's some good stuff right there. Thank you, Jeff. I got Jeff Quinn, and he is from gunblast.com. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, sir.
If you look up country gentleman, you'll see Jeff's picture in the dictionary. Don't forget, if you like what I'm putting down, please share this podcast. Please tell somebody about it. Leave a comment at blackmanwiththegun.com. Also, check out Women's Gun Show podcast. They are cranking it out right now and doing well. womensgunshow.com. Next up is a friend and a brother from another mother that sports a mohawk by the name of Hank Strange. Hank Strange, welcome back to the show, brother.
Reverend Ken, thanks for having me, man. Feel like I haven't been here in a while.
I know. I think about you all the time, though. Whenever I'm thinking about YouTube, your name pops right up. It's like, you are my YouTube guy. If I think YouTube and video and all that is you, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
I hope that's a good thing.
It is. To me, you own this space.
Really? Okay.
You been doing all right?
Yeah, I've been doing good, man. What's been up with you? I know you've been doing a lot of different things. Still following you, still see you out there posting all the time, which is good.
Yeah, for an old dude, I'm still kicking, just not that high.
Right. I mean, I know you're older than me, but I don't know by how much. I'm not a young cat either. I lost young cat status. I'm like 45 years old now, so.
I got you by about 11 years, I think.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
You just came back from the NRA meeting. What you think this year?
So I think it was. I think I have to put it in a couple of different buckets, if that's a good analogy.
Okay.
I think there's a few different things. I thought it was great because I got to, usually for me, I go to NRA so that I could connect with the people who are actually fans of what I do. And in that case, it was great because there was just like so many more people and all that recognized Lola and myself, and that came up and said that they watch what we do and they appreciate it. And I really enjoy that. I know that might sound, may sound, I don't know, maybe terrible to some people, but that's kind of the fuel that I feed on to keep doing this, you know? That's really, to me, the biggest reward that I get out of it.
Yeah.
So I think it was good for that. I think that on the flip side of that, Atlanta was not really, I've been in Atlanta before, but never really got to look around Atlanta. And I was kind of surprised by what I saw there, you know? And what I mean by that is, I mean, I saw a lot of homeless people, a lot of kids in the street, a lot of drugs being sold, and things going on in Atlanta that I was kind of like disappointed in that. What's going on outside of the convention. Inside the convention was great. Outside, not so much.
Totally get it. Atlanta has like highest bankruptcy and people snatching your cars and go-go dancers. I mean, it's become a little bit of a stretch now.
Yeah, and I think that it's the kind of thing that we should take responsibility for. And what I mean by that is Black people. You know, I think Atlanta, we could safely put it in the category of being one of those Black cities, right? I know it's not obviously not just Black people there. There's lots of different kinds of people there, but you know, we could put it in that category. Lots of people of color from around the country have flocked to Atlanta kind of like as a center. And it was almost like, you know, a utopia. I was using Lyft while we were there, and I was talking to a Lyft driver, a Black woman, and she was telling me that she moved out to Atlanta expecting that utopia and is incredibly disappointed by what she found there. And we could do nothing except agree with that.
Yeah, it was at one time. It was like a small mecca, a Black Wall Street. A lot of entertainment people went down there, but also so did the criminal element. Yeah.
And then even there's, you know, I mean, there was a strong civil rights movement coming out of Atlanta, you know, from my understanding and what I've seen in history. So, you know, so that was that. The show itself, though, in terms of new things, because people always ask me, oh, what cool, new, exciting things did you see there at the show? One, I didn't, because I was meeting so many people, which is awesome. I really didn't get to go to every single booth, which you never get to do at a show. But the things I saw, I didn't really see anything that was super revolutionary or things that we didn't already see at SHOT Show. I think it's probably a good way to put that.
Yeah. If you go to SHOT Show, you've seen all the products.
Yeah, most of the things. I think some companies held off to put out stuff. The way it goes for me, if you want to put this on a chart, I think everything spikes, like attention for gun stuff on YouTube and social media really in general spikes towards the end of the year. Right around like, you know, Christmas time, right before Christmas time,
shopping.
It spikes. Yeah, you've got that. And then once you get into New Year, you've got taxes. Obviously, SHOT Show is in January. Everything spikes there. When people's tax money comes back, they typically use that to buy the high ticket items, etc. And then as you get towards the NRA show, it starts to simmer down.
True. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. If you want to chart it.
So where is Hank Strange Productions going these days?
Where are we going? You know, I right now we're kind of reorganizing everything because there's been this what I call the YouTube-ageddon. You know, so you know, there's been a monetization crisis basically that hit YouTube, and not just the gun guys like myself and those of us in the Second Amendment community that are on YouTube, but it hit YouTube across the board. So are you aware of this?
Yeah, but because I don't have that many videos, my stuff, you know, I can't go viral if I had a flu. So my numbers don't, my stuff don't change.
Okay. That's not true. You never know. You might put a cat video up there, it might go viral.
I know, right? Cat and ladies. That's it right there.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a lot of viral stuff when it comes into our thing. But basically, what happened was, I mean, first of all, YouTube has never been friendly to the gun community. They don't really accept advertising from gun manufacturers. So the only advertising that you would see on YouTube, I think it comes from NRA, and then the Concealed Carry Association has a Concealed Carry magazine. They have done some things, and lately people told me they've seen maybe Vortex or these companies doing commercials. And so what that matters to those of us that make YouTube videos and have monetization turned on is that if there's not a commercial that runs on your video, you don't get any of that monetization money. People think if you have a channel and you get, I don't know, 1 million views a year or whatever it is, that you're just rolling in the money. Well, you're not necessarily getting 1 million views that advertising's playing on. So if you're doing gun stuff, you're definitely not getting the gun section because they're not allowing people to, the manufacturers to buy advertising. They wouldn't even allow me to buy advertising to advertise my channel because it's a gun channel.
Wow.
So the advertising we get has to do with other things, like, I don't know, for some reason on mine, maybe there's like Viagra or, car commercials or whatever runs on there. So what happened was the Wall Street Journal, I believe, did an expose where they said there's these channels that are racist. I think I think it was a skinhead channel and stuff like that. There was some other channels out there that are pretty terrible channels, and they were getting commercials running on them. And they put that out there, then all these companies pulled the advertising from YouTube in general. So one day we just saw that, like, whatever amount of monies we were making, it just all dropped. And because these companies pulled out, and then YouTube put in something to try to entice them to come back, saying that, okay, if you come back, we'll put in filters, and we'll basically turn on this filter where anyone that's in a restricted category, if you turn that on, your commercials won't run on their videos. So one, what's happening is that a lot of advertisers have not come back yet. And two, the ones that have come back have turned on that filter, but guns falls in that category along with a lot of things. So basically, the only thing that's not in that category is the G-rated stuff, the complete children's safe things.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically what that means is that a lot of YouTube content creators, including gun guys, have seen, like on our channel, we've seen like a 75% loss of advertising revenue.
That's significant.
Yeah, it is. It's significant. And there's a lot of people that completely rely on that to do. And there's a lot of people out there right now trying to figure out, things to do. For at least a year now, we started a Patreon account, and we've been trying to get people to go in there and support us on Patreon. It's totally volunteer. I don't want to make the videos that I make and have people pay for it. So, we ask people to voluntarily help us out in any way that they can. And at the same time, we try to encourage people to sponsor our channel, the projects that we do in various videos. And we also tell people when companies are doing that.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. So
what's the last big video that you did?
I think, a big video that I've got out right now, I've got actually 2 videos, and it's talking about the Springfield Armory and Rock River Arms debacle. Have you heard about that?
Only in briefing. Tell me the real deal.
Well, okay. I don't know. I mean, it's probably going to be another long-winded thing. But basically, those companies are in Illinois, and they sponsor, I think it's IFMA, which is Illinois Firearms Manufacturers Association. It's a lobbying group. And so they were trying to block gun control bills that were going through. And they basically started up this lobbying group. It's a very small group. But the lobbyists, there's a mandate that's going through that would basically make it very difficult for mom and pop stores to sell guns and individuals in Illinois. I think it limits you to like 9 guns a year that you could sell. And then if you're a gun store, you have to jump through all these hoops when you sell stuff.
Why in the world would the manufacturers want to do that?
Well, manufacturers didn't want to do that. They were blocking it, and they were blocking it through this group. Then the lobbyists agreed to, so this was effectively blocked and wasn't going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then the lobbyists made a deal with these gun control politicians in the Illinois Senate that if they withdrew their opposition to it, they would get carve out. So basically, Rock River Arms, Springfield Armory, and some big box stores got exemptions from this law when it goes into effect.
The home of Al Capone. The deal is still the deal in Chicago.
Yeah. So this happened. Those two companies. So it became news a little bit before SHOT Show. The Truth About Guns broke the story. Became news. I posted it up on my social media stuff. But I was literally in Vegas for the beginning of the week. Doing the broadcasting show, and then at the end of the week I came back out on the road, went out to Atlanta. So through the whole show I really didn't cover it, but the story kept simmering. And after the NRA show, people just really got mad on social media and started talking about it, and so did I, as well as other YouTubers and bloggers out there. We started bringing attention to it, and at first they said that they didn't know this was going on. The lobbyists did it without them, and it wasn't really their fault. Then I think they fired the lobbyist firms, which was basically a thing that they created, so it's not a separate entity. And I think now they're trying to take full responsibility because they were trying to avoid taking full responsibility for this because this is a terrible thing to actually. It's not law yet, but I don't know that they could stop it from becoming law. But when it does, it's going to roll back a lot of things in the state of Illinois. Yeah, if you think about it, this is what happened back in the days, right? This is why we have a lot of gun control laws that are out there now, because manufacturers made deals thinking that they would get special carve-outs and it wouldn't affect them.
Yeah, nothing's changed. This thing has been happening forever. It just happens every once in a while. Just kind of miss it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a brave new world that we live in that, we have the internet. It's here. It's not going anywhere. And the people have direct control. It's like this show that you're doing. We have direct control of this, and we don't have to let people get away with nonsense, and I'm definitely going to try to do as much as I can going forward with the YouTube channel and all the other social media that we have to bring a lot of different things to light. Not just things like this that the manufacturers or different people do in the industry, but really the industry as a whole, because what we find now that's happening, there's so much more people becoming interested in guns. And I think black people were always into guns, but we're finding that they're now willing to come out of the shell, come out of the closet and admit that they're gun people. And they're expecting to see certain things out there, and people in general expecting to see it. And we have control of that. We can use the airwaves or the internet waves, or however you want to put it, to bring our message and control the message that we have to share with everyone.
Only bad part is you have to do it without funding. You have to generate your own money to make it happen.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You would think that there's organizations and manufacturers out there that would see the benefit of dealing with people, but it's a weird situation. One of the things I think that happens, if you look at what happened, right now in the news, there's like a stolen valor situation. Did you see that going on with a Marine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe it's Mike Lamb.
Yeah.
So the thing about that is that I found in the industry that people have to kind of puff up their credentials to get the attention of these manufacturers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what happened there. You're a former Marine. I'm correct about that.
Yeah, the fact that you have to ask me means I haven't been bragging about it.
Yeah, you've done some amazing things yourself, but it's weird that I find this. I know that you probably don't want to talk about it, but I find that you're an amazing person, and it blows my mind sometimes that people don't seek you out more, because your life history to me, it's almost like it's like a Hollywood script.
Yeah, I am Jason Bourne.
Yeah, so. And I think one of the things that happens here is the industry, one, they're always looking to get government contracts because they think that's going to solve everything for them. And they forget that civilians buy those guns.
It's that government cheese, man. Everybody wants the government cheese.
Yeah, and then they give a lot of credibility to people being in the military, which I think from serving your country, being in the military, I think you should get some credibility. And it doesn't matter to me if you were like a chef, if you were, a radiologist in the military, or if you were a special operator, you deserve the credit for going out there and defending and protecting your country and ensuring that there's freedom in the world. Absolutely. But, companies over focus on that and they don't really see anything else. Mm-hmm. And then we've also got the other organizations out there that are supposed to be the, pro-gun and pro-Second Amendment organizations. And, it's very tough to get the attention of these people.
I know. It's like the Luddites are still in existence. There's like a really rare group of old English people who didn't like technology, and some of our people in the industry are still there. They're still like trying to figure out how they can get away and not be online or not deal with YouTubers or bloggers or podcasters. Maybe we can just keep with print media. Maybe we can still put our ads on the radio and we'll be all right.
Yeah, we call them the FUDs. I mean, that's one of the words we have for them.
Yeah.
I think, yes, there are a lot of those people, and it's going to be very difficult to get them out of the positions that they're in. I think some of them, you're just never going to get them out of there. But it's
they own the companies.
Yeah, I think they own the companies own them. There's a lot of different relationships and things like that going on, and it's an uphill battle. And the biggest thing that worries me in all that is that we lose the Second Amendment rights that we have here in America. And you're in danger of losing that when you're just ignoring whole groups of people, because in your world, it's just something that you don't think about,
What's also funny, though, is you also have people who come kind of like late to the party, and they don't have enough wisdom to do what's right. But because they're the new and shiny thing, sometimes they get a little further. And I'm trying to say that without being like a jealous dude or envious. It's just it's just a weird thing that happens like recently. Like I'll see a guy who he just got out of the military, like you said, or maybe this person is, I don't know, a decorated cop. They're going to pull that guy and put him all over the place when he really doesn't have any media training and it possibly can say the wrong things and hurt us.
Yeah, I think I agree with you in that, it's a weird kind of thing. I think some people I've found that want everything to go by ranking, and I guess there are a lot of people in the military. You're in the military yourself, and maybe that's the system you get used to. So there's people that go, okay, this should be, this should go by rank and how long you've done that. And I don't completely agree with that either. And at the same time, I think that you should vet whoever you're going to deal with. Especially if they're going to represent your organization, you should absolutely vet them. But what's happening, it's almost like how you've got the Kardashians, being very powerful influencers in our world today. I'm not mad at the Kardashians at all. I'm mad at the people out there who think having like a fake big butt,
is good.
And yeah, that like, oh, that's really cool. So now we're going to listen to everything these people have to say because it really means something. And it's on the people out there who listen to that. And I really think it's on us if we have something better to say or to offer to the situation to get out there and fight to say that thing and keep saying it over and over again, even though sometimes it's like we're talking into the wind. And there aren't people out there who recognize what we're doing. I don't really think it should go by any kind of ranking. I think each person should be looked at individually, and figured out based on the merits of who they are and what they do and the audience that they speak to and the reaction of that audience instead of, oh, you know what? We want to sell guns to women. We're just going to get like all the cute women in the world. We'll put them out there and they'll sell guns. I get that. I understand why that's a thing, but I think that there's women out there who are worthy of, and they're gun people, and they're worthy of us listening to them and investing in their ability to express themselves. But we don't see it that way. It doesn't really go by true merit. It just goes by, oh, this is the hot, cool new thing right now, or this person did something viral, and we're going to listen to that. But a lot of times you find when people do those things, this is one thing that they've done versus a body of work or understanding that they've put into something.
Yeah, we're on the same sheet. You just said it better.
Okay. Yeah, but more long-windedly.
And I got a new phrase. That fake big butt thing is like real right there.
I talk to black women all the time, obviously, and they're like, "Oh, we had big butts for a long time."
Exactly. I'm a fan.
Yeah, we've been doing this big butt thing forever. What happened here? And it's just I think it's a symptom of the world that we live in today. I mean, if you look at, this is why people are turning away from the news media, because if you look at the news media, they're talking about whatever the viral video story is.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's sickening, and there's real things out there. For example, in our world, I don't see these people talking to the real dyed-in-the-wool gun guys who are out there doing stuff all the time. They pick out people, and I get that, that maybe have some kind of cause celeb, and then they go with those people. And I think they very rarely find people that are deserving of that situation. There are some people who have been discovered, and I think are deserving of that situation.
Yep.
That they're in.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there are some people like that, but then there's a lot of other people who it's like, okay, why are you even listening to what this person has to say?
Right.
But we just have to fight that, I think. I think we just have to keep doing this. The internet's not dying. It's not going away. And I had a situation where a lot of people were asking me at SHOT Show, well, how come you didn't do this thing? How come you weren't on this thing? And I was trying to say to them, I don't want to force people to play with me. I don't want to force people to deal with me or put me in their things. What I want to do is just go out there and do my thing and build it and build my own platform and control the message as much as I can. Because, if you do have people forcing you, you're going to have the people who come in and then start, maybe they're like, okay, so we'll fund you to do this. Well, now they kind of have some kind of control, because if you pay someone, you do have some level of ownership over them.
True.
And then two, if they force people to play in the sandbox with you, the people that they force to play in the sandbox with you are going to resent you.
Yeah, true.
So it's better to just be out there and fight the fight. The thing that I think that I'm going to do differently than what I've done over the last 4 years that I've been doing this is there's a lot of things that happen, and then I don't say anything about it, and I kind of bite my tongue and go, hey, I just want to be positive and not try to build what I'm building on controversy and all that. And so I think we've done that. We just a few months ago cracked over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yay.
Yeah, so I think, hey, we've proven something, at least at some kind of level. But from now on, I think I realize that there's lots of people out there that do want me to say things that they don't necessarily have a soapbox to get on and say. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah. And you can do it well.
And some number of people need to do it. I'd like to see, I don't know how you feel about this. I think you're saying here, and we've had these conversations, that you agree with me. And, I think we've got to figure out a way that we can all get together and make this happen more.
Okay? Definitely with that. I'm going to talk to you about it as soon as we get off the line.
Absolutely.
We got to strategize. We're going to make something happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we do. Because I think we need a lot of different voices in this conversation, and not just one or two or three voices. I think everyone needs to come to the table here and show people that, the big thing for me is that gun rights are really important. I always tell people you don't have anything you can't defend. And even gun rights themselves, we need everyone to defend this. Everyone in America needs to realize why it's important. So we need to see everyone out there talking about this from all different, I'm married to Lola, but that doesn't mean I can speak for her. She should speak for herself, because she's a completely different individual from me.
That's good, man. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down. I go to marriage counseling 101.
I don't know if Lola and I are a good example. You know what I mean? Lola's been people always try to, it's funny. I've been in the industry and people always trying to change me. They tell me, cut that mohawk off your head and dress like this and do that. And I'm always telling them, no matter what I do, I'm still going to be me. And Lola, I've known her for 20 years now. We've been married for 18. She still hasn't been able to, get me under control, but she's still out there trying. I love her for that.
That's the only person who is right to do so.
Yeah, but she's out there trying, man, even though she's fighting a real tough battle.
How can folks reach you, Mr. Strange, and all you're doing?
Well, okay, so anyone who wants to reach me, if you search Google or you put in Hank Strange, you're going to see all the stuff. We're on YouTube. We're on Full30. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, as I said. I'm on Patreon, lots of things. Just search Hank Strange, and you will find me. And if you want to talk more directly to me, I'm hankstrange@gmail for anyone that wants to shoot me an email.
And I want to thank you, man, for taking time out to holler at a brother, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot, Ken. I appreciate your support over the years, my friend.
Likewise. Hank Strange. Strong father. Raising boys. Beautiful wife. Married for 18 years. That's what cool is. Hank reminded me about Patreon, and we have an account here too that helps motivate yours truly. If you want to keep me moving, because I'm definitely on a roll right now, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/blackmanwithagun. Your support does more than just the financial part. And when you have a spare moment, hopefully that'd be like right now, could you go to blackmanwithagun.com, sign up. I need your email address so I can keep in contact with you. I got some projects coming down the pike. I need to solicit what's important to you. I have to ask you the question. I don't want to just be putting out stuff. I want it to be relevant. I got 20 plus years in this industry, 20 plus years in this training thing, 20 plus years in experiences, and I can help. And I know I can make a difference, but I got to know where to go. blackmanwithagun.com, sign up. I need your email. I'm going to be putting out some newsletters, some important information, and I can't do it with just 4 or 5 people. I need all of you. You, come on, do that thing. Go on there, email your name, and then bam, don't cost you nothing. Thanks. Special thanks for joining me this week. We're one human family, whatever our national, racial, ethnic, economic, and ideological differences. We are our brothers and sisters keepers, wherever they may be. Loving our neighbor has global dimensions in a shrinking world. At the core of this virtue of solidarity is the pursuit of justice and peace. I'm your friend and brother from another mother. Just in case nobody has told you this today, I love you. And there's not a darn thing you can do about it. Until next week, shalom, baby.
1, 2, 3, 4.